We're back. Here's another video from Sleepers Enterprises. I
Can
think
you
we
stop
told
calling us sleeper enterprises?
we we told people this, I think, earlier this week, last week. I don't know. It all blends together now. But I'm a dad now. I have this beautiful daughter, but I don't sleep and I'm delirious. And it makes it pretty hard to record. So Cart's at the office right now. He did bring his camera, though. Look at the man growing up a little bit, glowing up a little bit, you could say. But that puts us in a time crunch a lot of the time. So when we plan to do a 15-minute segment on Olivier Conwell coming to Michigan, and then we do like a 35-minute segment on Conwell coming to Michigan, that means we need to combine segments into a quick video. That's what we're doing right here. We're going to do Big Ten power rankings at the end of this video. Tease right there. Jot me down. Look at what I just did there. That was nice. But first, Cart, I saw something that I want to pulse check with you from your program, Michigan State basketball. The weight room, day one of summer workouts with this new group. They have TVs with the Final Four logo in Phoenix plastered all over them. Little motivation for you, little expectation, whatever you want to call it. This program is the program that measures themselves by Final Fours. We know that. But they're looking this group in the eyes and saying, the Final Four is ahead of you. Your thoughts, my friend? Do you like this? Does this scare you? Does it feel appropriate? What's your reaction?
I mean, I'd say it feels appropriate with like all the expectations that are being placed upon this team, not only, by the fan base itself, but just like in a national picture. When people bring up Final Fours in like this way too early part of the offseason, Michigan State's one of the teams that they're talking about that has a really, really good shot to make it there. So, I think that obviously I don't want to look too much into it. The only thing that I look into as offseason wise, as far as weight room with Michigan State, is I need the before and after pictures, and I need that end of summer picture where they're all wearing chains in front of the weights and we all freak out because Jackson Kohler has muscles now or something like that. That's the only time I really feed into the offseason hype. But I mean, shit, it's why keep it a secret? Like that's what the goal is this year. Like I'm going to be disappointed if we don't make a Final Four this year. Like that's that is what it is. We could have a good season still, but there will be a part of me that like, damn, I think this is a Final Four caliber team. I think we might have dropped the ball. So
Okay.
it's good to know that the program thinks that as well, to be honest. Good. I mean, at least they're not like short selling the shit.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I respect. I respect that the Michigan State program measures themselves by the highest standards. They are one of probably 9 to 10 programs in the country that I think can do that and genuinely mean it, and I won't laugh at them. So credit to them. Credit to Tom Izzo. That's true. He's got more Final Fours than anybody, and that's what this program is measured by. Like it or not, it is what it is. It always will be. With that said, my friend, you know what's interesting looking back at the last 3 years, Cart, for me? Because you would say, like, I think both of us would agree. Like, 3 years ago, no one was happy. That was a pretty bad year. 2 years ago, no one was happy. That was a pretty bad year. Last year turned a corner, right? That was a good year, right?
I think in my eyes, we got the most out of that team, maybe even more than we should have gotten.
But so you agree with my general sentiment of like 3 years ago bad, 2 years ago bad, last year good, right? That's a summarizing way to say the last 3 years of Michigan State have been bad, bad, good. Correct?
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're not tripping me up with something I'm forgetting right now. But yes, yeah.
3 years ago was the Aaron Henry put him on his back bubble year. You finished eighth in the Big Ten. 2 years ago was Max Christie, and you guys were underwhelming. You finished seventh in the Big Ten. Last year, you finished fourth in the Big Ten in the middle of a mess of the Big Ten and made a Sweet 16, right? Bad, bad, good. I think that's a fair way to say
yes.
that. You know what's interesting, though, Cart?
You
know how many losses those three teams had?
Like each year?
Yeah. You know how many losses those three teams had? The one that was bad, then good?
Probably the same.
13 losses, 13 losses, 13 losses. And now I get it. There's a narrative here that it was bad, bad, good. And I'm with it. Last year, I think the team overachieved. I said before the season, they would not make the tournament. They made a Sweet 16. There is no way for me to look this camera in the eyes and say that was a bad year. It wasn't. But for a team that's preseason ranked fourth in the country, that is built around the same core, that all they know is 13 losses in a season in Michigan State uniform, I'm having a little bit of a hard time. And I rank them fourth. I have them fourth in my poll. I have a little bit of a hard time when I actually sit back and think about this team being like, it's a Final Four or bust. Like, what's changing from the team that has lost 13 losses last year and the 2 years before it? What is changing about last year's team to this year's team that goes from a good team to one of the 5 best teams in the country?
Well, I think with some of the pieces we got coming, like we're not bringing, we don't have to depend on, bringing guys like a Pierre Brooks off the bench. Like
the bench is changing. The
bench has changed immensely. I don't want to blame some of those, like some of those losses obviously were just like part of the season, but I can point to some games specifically where like we had guys that were like on the court dying because they had to play so much and like had to do so much. I think there's a little bit of youth and depth and athleticism that comes into this team. But to your point, I don't think it's fair to kind of push back on that because, like, I think to last year's team, like, Joey Hauser was such a huge part of what we did last year, and he's not going to be there anymore. And it's a lot more. Honestly, this just came to my mind just this second right now. Last year, I thought the great part about the team was that on a night-to-night basis, I knew I was getting Tyson Walker and I knew I was getting Joey Hauser every single night. Next season, I know I'm getting Tyson Walker. And there's a world where maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not, but let's say we're getting a better Tyson Walker and Tyson Walker every single night. Outside of that, the guys on the team, I guess maybe you could say Jaden Akins was pretty consistent in his role, especially towards the end. But a lot of those other guys, like we got up and downs. You know what I'm saying? Like we got Malik Hall, could be up, up, up. AJ Hoggard, up, up, up. And then we have Malik's unplayable. Malik's hurt. Or we have AJ is turning the ball over. AJ's body language bad. AJ's arguing with Coach Izzo on the bench. So, yes, that's a thing. But I also think that the depth and the athleticism is something that's going to help because that's not something we've had the past couple years, I would say. And also like just even looking back to like the Christie year, I know we always get going when we start talking about shit like this and then it just spirals out of control. But like even back to the Christie year, there was a lot more expectations on that team because we thought what Max Christie could be, and he didn't end up being what we thought he would be.
So that's a nice segue a little bit to me, I think, of like I don't know how to summarize this in one sentence. Christie not being as good as we thought he was going to be that year, and the team went from we thought they'd be nasty and a contender to a 13-loss team is why I'm a little scared with this group because we're essentially saying what's different from last year to this year is that Joey Hauser's out and freshmen are in. And the thing about freshmen,
but we got Tyson on that Christie team.
But Tyson's not different, dude. Tyson was awesome. Yeah, I expect Tyson to be better?
But on that Christie team, we put a lot on him. After that, there was no consistency on the team ever.
So you're saying the presence of Tyson makes it easy on the freshman?
Yes,
I'm with that, and AJ,
and hopefully AJ, and honestly even Jaden.
Yeah, when you have those 3 guards, Jeremy Fierce doesn't need to play at all. So I'm with you. Like he does. There's no pressure on him. There is pressure on Xavier Booker. If Xavier Booker's not good,
yes.
Like there's also pressure on Cohen Carr. So and I like those guys. I think those guys are good. I'm not like trying to wave a flag and say Michigan State's overrated by any means. They are 4th in my preseason poll. I saw that video of like, okay, Final Four. And I'm like, while AJ Hoggard's doing his bench press, you think the 3 consecutive 13-loss seasons are flashing through his mind while he looks at that Final Four logo? Like, at a certain thing here.
Well, it depends what night. It probably depends what night of the week it is for AJ.
They just feel like if we're looking at the other 3 teams in this tier, because I view it as a tier at the top. I think you and I have talked about this. Duke and Kansas and to an extent Purdue all have reasons that I think they belong in the quote unquote top 4 that I'm still struggling with for Michigan State. And at the end of the day, Michigan State's there because they're better than the other teams, like on paper. But
are you struggling with it because like last year, obviously Kansas, Purdue, Duke, Well, I guess well even Duke, I guess we're taking end of the year Duke, but like those were like some of the best teams in the country.
I'm struggling with it for this reason. Like Kansas just got the best transfer in the portal. They have a senior point guard who has won a national championship. They have McCullough back, and they have enticing other transfer. Like Timberlake's a good ad. They have a nice mix. If they added new things to, they brought back things we know are good.
Mm-hmm.
Duke, same thing. Filipowski and Proctor and Roach are back, and they have a nasty class that's as good as Michigan State's.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I guess there's different, and now I'm making the point for Michigan State because Duke's the similarity, right? Like you're telling me what's different about Michigan State is the freshman class, but on paper to me that freshman class is like the bench, and wouldn't you almost rather have it be like there's a change in the starting lineup that is featured, that is a bigger part of this team than just Pierre Brooks's minutes are replaced with Cohen Carr and a team's going to go from 13 losses to national title favorite? Like,
okay, but also to that point, like what if it does get to that point? Like would you be out of this world surprised if we got to like a point in the year where like maybe Jeremy Fears is like that guy and like he's starting, or Cohen Carr?
I would be absolutely shocked if Jeremy Fears starts again.
Okay, what about like a Cohen Carr? Like he's playing so
No,
well.
I
He's
think
playing
Cohen Carr's
so
awesome.
well that you got Malik coming off the bench.
We've come full circle. We didn't expect this to happen. I am more in on Michigan State being a national title team if Cohen Carr and Xavier Booker are your starting 4 and 5 come February. Because that's where now I see a vision of the good parts of last year's team are back. All the guards are back. And there's something they're leaping forward with. That's not Mady Sissoko. That's not Malik Hall, who is shattered with confidence and injury history. Like, if you're selling me on that, I'm in. I see the path. Good. Final Four logos everywhere. If you're selling me on this is the same starting 5 we had last year that lost 13 games, I think it's a huge jump to be like our expectations of Final Four with that group, unless you're leaning into that freshman class.
Yeah, but you're only focusing on the starting 5.
At the end of the day, that's who's on the floor, though, right? Like
that's true, but some nights the starting 5 isn't going to play well, and have the ability to insert other players into that, I think is a factor you're not factoring in. And obviously, Michigan State I think they have Final Four aspirations. I think that's fair to say, but like
not aspirations, expectations. That's different. Aspirations is a lot different than expectations. The logos on our screen, the first second of workouts in the summer.
We have expectations with this team.
You do.
Yes.
And that's what I'm probing here is just,
yes.
Are we sure a team that's lost 13 games in a row with the same core is now ready for those expectations?
I will also say this. I am less sure of those expectations at this point in time, but it has nothing to do with Michigan State.
What does that have to do with?
I think a lot of teams are doing a lot to get better.
Yeah. Do you think Michigan State's not doing a lot to get better? Is that
no? I think they are.
Oh,
I think they've done a lot to get better. I mean, obviously getting the guys back, freshman class being, obviously a lot. Who knows? A freshman, they could be anything, but expectations are for them to be a pretty good class. Besides Xavier Booker, a lot of guys that have actually like made huge jumps as well, which I kind of like. I really like. It's something about kind of getting behind a freshman that has done nothing but this, like leading up into college. And that's what Fears and Carr have done in my eyes. Obviously, Booker's going the other way, which isn't as great. Norman's kind of just been level, barely top 100.
Norman jumped a little bit recently.
He did, but he also, he sat out the whole basically a good part of his high school season because he broke his wrist. But there is a player there, though. But it's more so the country, I think, just doing a lot and getting better. Like Kansas is my number 1 team in the country.
Okay.
Like, I think what Kansas has done has been unbelievable. You mentioned Duke. You mentioned Purdue. I still like what UConn is doing. Like UConn still's got Klingon in the fold. They kept their point guard in Newton. Obviously, they lose Sonogo, but they have Klingon in the fold.
Klingon's better than Sonogo. That's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, and they still got Joey California on that team too, right? And they got
Cam Spencer. They just
they got
added Cam
Cam
Spencer.
Spencer in the portal. Like they got a really good team. Like Villanova's doing some things, even though they got war criminal Neptune leading the charge. Like they
Yeah,
I think the country as a whole, in my eyes, is better. I think Michigan State could get better as well, but I think the country as a whole is going to be a better brand of basketball.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I wanted to just feel you out on that thought because this isn't the like look, 10 years ago or whatever, if you go back to the Draymond years or the Kalen Lucas years, which kind of overlapped, or even before that, like a lot of those teams were like year in, year out, 6, 7 lost teams. Like they were just top 10 teams in the country every year. So saying like we're going to a Final Four this year, that's the goal, wasn't crazy. It's never crazy. I'm not saying you're crazy for having that. I am saying like this group has never come close to it at all. So like it's just like, and I get the freshman class is dope, but I wish there was like a penciled in freshman class role that's not like, you know how Izzo is with this stuff. Like, would we really be that surprised if Madi Sissoko is playing 25 minutes and Xavier Booker's playing 6? Like, that might
Yeah,
happen.
but also you pointed out the losses last year. This was a team that went to the Sweet 16. So
Hell yeah.
if they get over the hump, that's Elite Eight, Final Four. Like that's the getting over the hump. So this team's been bad, good on, like you said, get Sweet 16, keep the same team, add some pieces in, get rid of some pieces that we don't need, get over the hump, Elite Eight, Final Four talk. Like
I'm with that.
I see
There's a
that as a
trajectory.
trajectory.
I'm with that. There's a trajectory. Okay. I was also just baffled genuinely when I discovered that last year's team lost the same number of games the two previous did. Like in my head, that last year's team was so much better than the Max Christie team and the Aaron Henry team. And like, I think they were better. There's no arguing they were better. But like, I think the golf isn't as
it's
big.
got to be a schedule thing.
Schedule thing, or I don't know, like because you hate Ken Palm, you think he's washed, but like the Ken Palm ranks aren't that different, is the point. So like there's a jump from Ken Palm's 28th best team to 4th, and Michigan State could certainly make it. I just am wondering how that's going to happen. But the answer is the freshman.
Speaking of that, with the addition of Olivier for Michigan, you guys went from 68 on Torvik to 55.
Yes, that's massive though, because you know how many teams make the NCAA tournament cart? That's big. that's real big. That's the goal here. We're trying to get back. Baby steps. Okay, we said we would do Big Ten power rankings, so we can just do them quickly. We kind of haven't done this too much on our show, but like Purdue ahead of Michigan State. Is Purdue the clear number one? I think they're clear number one.
Yeah. Oh, we did talk. We did mention it. I don't know what episode it was, but like to me, they won the Big Ten tournament last year. They won the Big Ten regular season. They're bringing back National Player of the Year. They're bringing back the same team that did what they did last year with guys that are going to get better, like we talked about, and some pretty good additions as freshmen. Like it's to me, it's they deserve that spot. They earn that spot, and so until someone takes that spot from them, so they are one to me. Michigan State 2.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that they won 29 games last year and everybody's back. Like
yes.
Michigan State needs to make the jump we're wondering if they can make in order to reach that level. They can.
Braden Smith was good last year, by the way, for everyone out there.
Well, I'm shocked you're saying that, but yeah, I think you're right.
He was.
He was just a little scared at times, but
yeah. So, but he was good.
Freshmen get scared sometimes. It's okay. Just not Xavier Booker, Cohen Carr, or Jeremy Fears. They don't get scared.
Xavier Booker's for sure scared.
Jeremy Fears might get a little scared if he has to, I don't know, put like 20-pound weights on the bar. I don't know.
If you can't outlift him, do not make a comment about him.
Are we sure I can't outlift him? Are we positive?
I don't know. You've been on some fitness shit lately. I don't know. I'm kind of scared of you. Like I feel like if I took you to the Mac right now, you throw up some nasty, or took you to Bronson, you throw up something nasty.
You never know. All right. Outside of that tier, what's your like 3, 4, 5, 6 right now?
Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't miss anyone. I feel like I will.
You'll miss somebody. Don't even spend the time looking it up. You'll miss them.
Okay. I think I'm going Wisconsin 3.
Oh, I hate that. That's crazy.
I think I'm going Maryland 4. Illinois 5. Oh, Ohio State 6.
Okay.
7. Rutgers, 8. God, I feel like honestly I don't really care about these
You
bottom
haven't said
tier
Indiana
teams.
yet. They're probably the
Oh
most
shit, my
talented.
my my apologies. I'll go Wisconsin. I'll go Wisconsin. I'll go Indiana after. Um, I'll go Indiana before Maryland. I'll go Indiana 4,
Well,
Maryland 5,
okay.
Illinois 6, and then I honestly really don't care about the other teams. Can I throw that out there?
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Interesting though, when we do Illinois videos, we almost always land on the like, oh, they're like third or fourth, and now they're sixth in your rankings already. So I have Purdue clear 1. I have Michigan State clear 2. I have Maryland clear 3 in my head.
Clear.
Yeah, I think Harris Smith is awesome, and I think
Yes.
Jameer Young is maybe gonna win Big Ten second player of the year behind Edie. Like Edie's of course gonna win it, but like I'm more curious, like who's this year's Jalen Pickett? I think Jameer Young might be this year's Jalen Pickett because I think they're gonna need him to do everything, and I think if Harris Smith can be like Hood Schifino level, and yeah, they both have acronyms that start with HS. I like that. I like that a lot. And they bring their front court back. I'm in on Maryland being really good. And I also think, as much as I have been skeptical of Willard, I think Willard was really impressive last year in year 1 in the Big Ten. And I think he's going to build on that and get better as he gets more comfortable in the conference.
Yeah.
So Maryland 3, I put Illinois 4 begrudgingly because they need a point guard so bad. And I'm mad they didn't get one. And then from there, like, I think it gets ugly, dude. Like I would probably go Ohio State 5, mostly because I think Bruce Thornton's really good. And
Roddy Gale.
I like Roddy Gale. I like Battle. Like I think that's a really underrated ad. He was good
Yeah.
at Minnesota.
Shit, I forgot. Damn, that was I honestly forgot about that. Love the recruit. Love Middleton. Love
And
Chapman.
Akpara's got to jump in him for sure. Like I really like this roster for Ohio State.
They always do this to me. You know how I am with Ohio
I
State,
know.
Greg. They always do it to me. I'm so
Addition by
scared.
subtraction, though. Addition by subtraction with the mid-range chucker who didn't guard. He's gone.
Relax. Bryce
Uh,
Sensabaugh is gonna be a Piston.
Ohio State 5, and then I think I go Wisconsin 6, but I really don't think Wisconsin's going to be good. Like I think they just bring everybody back. I don't think they did anything. Like AJ Store's fine. I don't think he's like an all-conference guy at all. If anything, I think he's going to take shots away from a season. I don't like that. And as long as Tyler Wall and Crowell and Hepburn are still the 3 main options on this team, I think they're bad. I just don't like that group. But they're 6 because everybody else stinks. Like go up and down the list. Minnesota's horrible. Nebraska's horrible. Rutgers, you had them on your list for some reason. I think they're horrible. They might lose Mulcahy and they lost Spencer. How's that a good team at
Are they
all?
gonna lose Mulcahy?
I think so. I don't know
Oh,
that for sure, but
okay. I had to bump them down.
he's not back to Rutgers for sure.
I also pulled a huge big time Carter move by coming with absolutely zero preparation on going through these teams before I came into
Yeah,
this
it
ranking.
was kind of impromptu. But like go down the list more though, dude. Like Penn State's gonna be terrible. Iowa is gonna be terrible. Like they're just gonna be Iowa without the Murray twins.
Can I make a claim right now?
I'm nervous, but yeah.
I don't think Penn State will be as awful as people think.
Okay. Just
I
because
think like
you like
I
Ace
think
Baldwin.
I kind of just like I like the coach. I like the coach. I like Baldwin. I think they
What the
get it
hell
done.
do you like about Mike Rhodes?
I don't know. I got something for like that. Just Ace. I wish they would have got Jay Nunn. If you could have gave me Ace. If you could have gave me Ace Baldwin and Jay Nunn backcourt reunited at Penn State, that's what I really wanted.
I'm with you
I
there.
think it would have been good. But I guess we'll see.
But all these teams stink. Like Indiana has talent. Maybe they won't stink. Maybe they're 7. Northwestern has Boo Booey. Maybe he's single-handedly good enough. But like Audige was a huge loss. Like
Indiana might have the highest like ceiling basement in the conference.
yeah, I agree.
Because on paper, like that team has hella talent, but as we know, their coach
Am I
is
crazy?
registered for ARAP.
Am I crazy that I'm talking myself into Michigan right now? Looking at the rest of these teams?
Yeah.
Because, okay, I've been with it. Before the Comwa ad, everyone's like, they're like 11th. They're not 11th with Comwa.
No, now they're like 9th.
Are we sure they're 9th?
8th.
Are we sure they're 8th?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Mm-hmm.
There's some bad teams in this conference. Like, Michigan with Kamala right
It's also
now,
going to be it's going to be a movie when Olivier comes off the bench for Cheddar too.
with no other ads whatsoever after Kamala. They're better than Minnesota. They're better than Nebraska. They're better than Rutgers. They're better than Penn State. They're better than Iowa. And they're probably better than Boo Booey in Northwestern. Probably. So, like,
wow, are we off the Boo Booey train completely?
he doesn't have enough help, man. He just doesn't.
Excuse me.
He doesn't have enough help.
I think you need to take a step back and get ready for breakout Barnheiser.
He needs a Robin. He needs a Robin. He doesn't.
He has one. Bull Cup Barnheiser.
All right. We'll see. I don't know, man. If Antonio Reeves ends up on a Michigan roster cart, I think that's like 5th, maybe 4th in this conference. We'll see. Illinois level for me.
Okay, go get some sleep, my friend.
I am tired.
Good Lord.
I am tired. All right, this is fun. Thanks. We did like 40 more minutes than we expected to. Shout out to us. Follow us at Sleepers Media. Click subscribe. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers. That'd be lovely. By the way, we get paid a little bit from this now. We monetized our YouTube, so sorry about the ads, but hopefully you're watching the ads, so we actually get full money from that. We appreciate you. Any final words for the people? Cart as the 4th preseason favorite in the country.
Just can't wait to watch basketball, man. What a sport.
You gonna go watch more Finnish players since you have such an affinity for them?
I mean, don't be mad that I'm a student of the game, Greg.
All right. Goodbye. This is fun. Thanks. Bye, everyone.